Manchester feels like peace. If one place can give you that, then what else could you want from it? Ruben Dias, you're number 3.
Welcome to MatchDay Live. There's a lot going on here in Manchester. There's a game between Manchester City and Tottenham, but it is also Bahia Day at the Etihad Stadium. Let's bring you in quick. Give me some little samba moves. Give me some. Okay, yeah. I like it. There's a lot of vibes here at the Etihad Stadium. A lot going on today. Let's head over. Okay. Ole, la la la. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll head to the studio and you can rate my dancing. And Kel, over to you, my friend.
I don't know about doing the dancing, FG. That was left to you. I mean, I've got it scripted here. FG does the dancing, Kel does the intro. And that is what I'm about to do. Welcome along to Matchday Live. Michael Brown and Steph is alongside me. And my friends, we're back! We are kicking off this brand new season at the Etihad Stadium. I'm very excited, guys. Very excited. We have got new players to welcome to the stadium. We've got a new stand just over to my right here that is almost complete, which will mean more fans into the stadium, and it also means we've got so much more to get into throughout the show. I almost feel like it's going back to school, the first game at home. You know, when you go to school, there's been a few changes around. Maybe they've changed the classroom or they've added a little playground. You've got some new people joining the school. How are you feeling about the season, particularly here at home, Michael?
It is great to be back, isn't it? To be in this stadium, as you say, continuing the growth, looking great right behind us. An exciting team. New players, feels like there's a freshness about the whole squad. The belief's there. A great start last week away at Wolves. I felt like that set the tone. And now we're ready here. A couple of changes in the team, some personnel to come and see. The City fans will be excited to see what the new players are going to bring. And an opportunity to set the tone, to set a marker again for City to be back right at the top of the Premier League.
I love it, Michael. You just teasing there. We're going to exclusively reveal there have been 2 changes to the team that got us off to that brilliant start away at Wolves at the Molineux 4-0 win. What them 2 changes are, though, you're just going to have to sit tight for a few more minutes before I reveal that to you. Steph, we can see the buses turning up here. We did get off to that flying start. How important, though, is it that we also do the same here at the Etihad?
Yeah, I think it's massively important. I think, especially when you're playing at home, you want teams to come here and feel really uncomfortable when you're playing against this team. And like what Brownie said, I think it was a great start last week. I think it was the City that we're probably used to seeing, that high tempo, playing forward, but also being really clinical. And them new players, I think Reijnders deserves probably a massive shout out in terms of what he did.
Steph, what are you thinking? Do you know when you're in the bus there now and you're coming to your first home game, you've got new players, what's your feeling? Like, what was your feeling like when you're in there now and all them City fans are waiting?
Oh, honestly, you're just so excited, I think, just to see everything. I think you've probably thought about it for a few days before and you're looking forward to the game, but ultimately you want to feel the atmosphere, and we've just been down there to see, and there's so many fans waiting for these boys to come and hopefully perform at the best like they did last week.
That's like the moment for me where you start to get that little feeling, your legs, you know, like
a few little butterflies in the belly.
And you go, here we go, this is what you train for, this is what you're waiting to step into a new stadium in the home games, and it is always special, that first one, something to look forward to. Look at that as they come into that area. What a welcome. And it does mean a lot to the players when you see that.
Of course, and it means a lot to the fans as well, you know. I mean, even for particularly the young fans, you know, you get that first glimpse of the players that you idolise, who you love. And as we know as well, we do make such a kind of great atmosphere outside the stadium. I don't know if we'll be able to see as well, the mural that's on the front of the welcome is our 4 captains, which I thought was quite a nice kind of nod, of course, to this new captaincy team. Obviously, Pep chose Bernardo Silva, Rodri and Ruben Dias in there as well. it seems like we've kind of got a good core there as well that is going to kind of show the way for our young players and the new signings as well.
Yeah, I think they've been here for a number of years. You look at Bernardo, Ruben Diaz with his new contract, Rodri, Ballon d'Or winner, Haaland, the future of the club, still only 23. He's going to be here for a long, long time. But yeah, I think for me, there's a bit of a sense of this is a new bit of period for Manchester City, and I think with them that leadership group and them captains, obviously replacing the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, who's still part of that group, it just seems like it's that new feeling, especially when we were down there. And you speak about young fans, they are so excited to see whoever comes off this coach now.
It's amazing, isn't it, for them to get that close, to get those high fives, and the players realise what the importance is of bringing the supporters in, and you see the smiles on everyone's faces. But we can talk about captains, we can talk about what that means now to the new team, but Pep's got new captains in his staff, a new test. We talked about it last week in the commentary, about he's also been tested out on a new challenge. So all around, that freshness just feels there. And what a feeling now, you're walking off to go and do your job, to go and get changed, to be ready into stadiums, and you realise how lucky you are as well to be in that position as a player, to have that sort of aura walking out there.
If you were one of them young people there getting a high five, or just generally, who is the player you'd be excited to see get off that bus today? Would it be one of the new signings? Would it be one of the old guard?
Yeah, I think you'd probably look at the likes of Haaland and probably Rodri. I think two of the biggest names in the team. But I think as a young fan, you're absolutely just buzzing if anyone comes and gives you a high five, but like the boys, they know what they should be doing. They know how important the fans are, and that's going to make them young boys and girls' day, just being able to do that and walking on. But I think there's a perception that when you play all these big games, that it still doesn't mean as much the next game, but it certainly does. I think you'll probably know that as well, Brownie. Like, the next game comes and you're just so excited to perform and to play as well as you can.
Absolutely. Well, listen, the boys are off the bus. There we are. We've had the final confirmation from the bus driver. So without further ado, let me bring you our first starting 11 for this first game at the Etihad Stadium as we kick off the brand new season here. James Trafford keeps his place after that clean sheet against Wolves. He is back to his home here in Manchester. Rico Lewis at right back, alongside John Stones, 10 years at the club for that man, alongside Ruben Diaz, of course. Brilliant news for City fans, announcing the signing of his new contract. A new signing, Ait-Nouri, gets his first taste of games at the Etihad. Nico also keeps his place from that 4-0 win against Wolves. Tijjani Reijnders, man of the match. Excited to see him take to the pitch here at the Etihad alongside Oscar Bob. And into the fold comes that man there. So excited to see Ryan Cherky. And Omar Mamouche comes into the side as well, alongside Erling Haaland, of course. Carried on his tradition of scoring in the opening game of the season. So two changes from the win against Wolves. I mean, we were making the argument, Michael, that you could say he keeps the same team. Obviously, what he has brought in there is Cherky. Bernardo Silva drops out, but of course, unchanged back four. What is your first assessment of that start?
Well, the first assessment, you've just told Pep Guardiola to keep the same team. We always like just to remind you that's not a situation, that you've got your opinion. Hey, we all take it on board. Pep's not, for obvious reasons. But yeah, Cherky's the one that everyone's excited to see.
Yeah.
He came on the pitch last week, that little flick return, great finish. He's got an aura. Is this going to be the next superstar for Manchester City? Someone who gets you off your seat, gives you a real belief, something to watch. That's the one I'm looking forward to. Reijnders a good start. Obviously, Ait-Nouri, we haven't seen him get forward in the last game. He was more of a system that he had to stick and wait away from home. Didn't want to get countered into that corner, and he defended very, very well, I felt, when he was put under pressure. It's a different test. It's an exciting one. But for me, Haaland getting that confidence, getting the supply line, it looks like we're going to be a little bit quicker into those positions. Yeah. I think that's going to be important, the energy and the legs, because we were a little bit laboured last season. So I think it's really set up nicely.
And going off them two, I mean, Bernardo Silva, of course, is club captain this season, is chosen by Pep. We know he's almost alongside Rodri, a bit like the metronome. He knows the system so well, but he has made way for Cherky, and then Marmouche coming in for Doku. So you touched upon it there, Michael. Do you think it is kind of getting the ball forward quicker, and also what is he trying to do to counter maybe what Tottenham are going to bring to the table?
Yeah, I think Tottenham like to go forward quick as well, so if we can keep control of that ball and attack quickly and really hurt them defensively, I think the likes of Ryan Cherky and Mamouche, they've got pace, they've got skills, and Tottenham did well against Burnley last week, but obviously we don't really know what this Tottenham is going to be about. We probably did in previous years, but under Thomas Frank, this is going to be a new Tottenham side. And I think what Cherky did when he came on against Wolves, I think for any City supporter is to be so excited about him, because both-footed, so skillful, can create something, and I bet Erling Haaland just thinking, just give me the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably the biggest difference, is that normally we'd probably take an extra 5-10 passes to get the ball to Erling, but now it's about getting it to him as soon as possible so he can go and hurt defences. And this is going to be a tough test for him against Van de Ven and Romero, because they are really good centre-halves.
They're quite aggressive, aren't they? Quite strong.
I mean, yeah, that guy on your screen there, I'm so excited to watch him play today.
I mean, you've got to say, I think it's been an unbelievable acquisition and bit of business. I mean, 21 years old. He actually just turned 22, didn't he, last week? Only 30 million euros, which in today's market feels like an absolute steal. The potential for this man, Brownie, does feel through the roof. I mean, the stars.
We've seen some really exciting players for Manchester City over the years in that area of the pitch. Do you know, have done things special. City fans have really enjoyed seeing somebody who has that flair, who can do different things. And we've just bumped into one of them as we were walking into the studio, was Georgie Kinkladze, who was at the game today. Wow. So somebody from a different era. We've seen so many, haven't we?
Yeah.
David Silva, we were talking about, me and Steph before, of what things can do. That's not normal, that. Do you know, that little flick and the understanding. But did you see the step over before that?
Yeah.
That's that's not from a normal player. You wouldn't need to see that. They just carry on with the ball and then take it on. So it's just a little flick there. And you see the fast feet for me here. Why's that happened? Not many people would do that first.
For sure.
They'd just take it into the space and look to try and get that shot maybe near side. And it's just the mobility of moving ball and to have that, just off he goes.
Well, and that's also, by the way, I want to point out, that's his weak foot. Apparently, his right-hand side is the weaker side. I've not seen a more...
So you've not got a weak foot, have you? You're
well, listen, it takes his inspiration from me, Michael. But I think it was Paul was talking about as well, and you'll have played with them. You know, players that aren't afraid to try something different, or will do that little step over. Is that kind of that little bit of, I don't know, genius, or just like an edge that a bit of flair that you need in the team? Because De Bruyne had that. He would see or attempt to pass that no one else is going to attempt. And it feels like Cherky's got that in his game, which it just separates you from the rest a little bit, Steph.
Yeah, I think obviously he's got so much potential, and I hope we do see a lot of that this season. But I think these types of players, I know you mentioned Kevin De Bruyne, he's always 3 or 4 steps ahead of anybody else. And I think that's the thing about trying things and preparing to fail, but also when the ball comes to you next time, trying again. And I feel as though Ryan Cherky, for certain, I think he's got that in him to be able to open up defences, but also I think he's so demanding of himself that he wants to get on the ball even more. He'll be happy to get in the ball from deeper areas and try and make things happen if the game's not working out how he wants it to do. But I think for me the key is how close he is going to be to Haaland.
Yeah. We've mentioned Kevin De Bruyne twice. I mean, that's 3 from me now. So how many are we going to?
We're not missing him at all.
We're not missing him, but we have to have the respect that Kevin De Bruyne deserves, and it's somebody in that position to come and give us, when games are tight.
Yeah.
When there's certain things that certain players can do and have the licence, but he has to earn it.
Yes.
With Pep Guardiola in the system,
yes,
to know when he can try it and when he can't, because it will frustrate at times when he does things, and but that's in his makeup. So that's something he's going to have to learn, which might be slightly different. But you don't want to knock it all out of him. I was
going to say that's kind of like a fine balance, isn't it? Of going carry on expressing yourself, and obviously this street footballer kind of way you've got about you, but in the same breath, there's a system here that you need to play in. Is that where you then having to look to Pep Lijnders, Kolo Touré to strike
all of them?
balance?
I'm going to look. That's what I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah.
To see where he's going to end up out of possession.
Yes.
And what areas he tries to go and get into. It's going to be hard for. We're looking at Spurs. They're going to be thinking, right, that's one we need to. As I'm the holding midfield player, where's he at?
Yeah.
Do you know, and Paulinho, we're just waiting to see what team Spurs have as how to sit and how to adapt from there. But it's a really interesting battle. Like say, look, we talk about Bernardo Silva. He can play in all of the areas, and that's it must be difficult. You're the captain. You're thinking you're going to play.
Yeah.
But in those areas, and he realises he's going to come on next week. It might be slightly different. It might be somebody else. And we look healthier, don't we?
Yeah.
You look at that bench today as well, and the squad's getting thicker. Got Ford and Rodri, till to come in, Bernardo Silva. So.
Yeah. Kuzanov there at the back as well. We always rave about Steph.
Yeah, we do.
Speaking of the defences, actually, our defence, sorry, got off with a clean sheet last week against Wolves. We're going to hear from John Stones in just a little bit, because 10 years at the club. We know he's struggled with injuries and we didn't really get to see much of him last season. But just seeing him last week, not that I'd forgot, but it was a nice reminder how important and good that pairing of Diaz and Stones is, but also the impact that Stones has on the game defensively and offensively.
Yeah, I think we're a different team with him in it, to be honest. I think in terms of with the ball, without the ball, I think that back four there, I think it's nice to be able to name the back four again, the same one, because that consistency and that continuity is great in terms of keeping that high line, because they did that a lot against Wolves. But I think people forget we've done that for a number of seasons. That's a thing that Manchester City have done, and maybe last year with all the changes we couldn't do what we normally would do, because you're obviously trying to get used to how other people play. But I think for me, John Stones, I think he's had so much bad luck with injuries and not being able to get into that form. But I think as a City fan and also being around the club and being a centre-half myself, I think what he does with and without the ball, he's without a doubt world-class. And I think, especially in that treble season, you look at John Stones as probably City's best player that year in terms of what he did, stepping into midfield, playing right back, playing centre-half. I think especially in that final against Inter Milan, I think he really dragged the team through that in terms of we weren't playing that well. He was the one that was getting on the ball. But I think against Wolves, he showed how important and how much we have missed him last season.
What do you think for me, Steph? Do you know, I feel like he's got a range of passing that none of the others have.
Yeah.
So, like, do you know, remember we had Laporte who could play a long diagonal.
Yes.
I think that's important as well. If you've got a Doku and if you've got someone with pace in a wider area, and Mamouche, where you can maybe play that ball and get you out.
I think people underestimate the diagonal ball. I know it sounds a bit silly. I think it looks quite simple, but actually to be able to do that continually and put it in front of players, in front of Doku, Mamouche potentially on that left-hand side today, I think. And I think that range of pass, but being able to brave enough to play that pass in between the lines into Cherky, into Reijnders, which he did a lot against Wolves.
He can fly that in, can't he? Different to Ruben, who's more like that defender type who can take the ball in certain
That's
situations.
why they probably complement each other.
It's quite nice.
Good,
more of an aggressive defender, more of like a comfortable stay
playing,
upright
elegant,
ball player, but very much reads it, tackles when he needs to.
And also, well, and they had last week. Obviously, we're waiting for, as Pep has coined him, still the best player in the world to make his way back into the squad after that, really tough year for Rodri. But I thought Nico screened the defence really well, and he was a bit unlucky. Started, didn't he, and picked up an injury. Same again halfway through, but thought he looked very comfortable, and you could see he'd had a season getting to know that position.
That was probably last week one of the surprises for me, that he was in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's an interesting choice. How's he going to get on? Will he be making way? Will he last a game? Will he be picked again when you look at the pressure over his shoulder? And he did really well, because there was a little bit of a talk sort of developing that because he hadn't had any minutes, whether he's going to make the grade, whether he's going to leave, which happened so early in his career, But that happens, doesn't it, at top football? And now he's got an opportunity to continue to get minutes, so many games, the rotations. But he's got to develop, he's got to improve.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good starting point for him last week.
Absolutely. Well, we were just speaking about him there, Mr. John Stones, so probably the right moment. So let's hear from the man himself. We got to sit down with him earlier this week. Of course, he's starting his 10th year now at Manchester City, which is incredible, an incredibly loyal servant. He's always spoke about his love for the club, for the fans, and how much he's enjoyed playing here, and long may it continue. Let's hear from the man himself now. Here is John Stones.
Let's do it. Signing, a special moment, a big moment for me. He's 22. It was a big price tag at the time, and I was just so excited to get started. And I suppose the rest is kind of history. I met him before I'd signed and spoke to him, and I was sold straight away with his passion and what he wanted from me, what he liked about me, and what he wanted me to come and do, and I don't think it's been a bad stint. first Prem. I could say a dream come true, but you can't describe the feeling, you know. Something I'll never forget, and yeah, really proud to have achieved it. And then obviously you get the bug, and it's addictive, that feeling of winning and lifting the trophy, and yeah, it makes you more hungry. And went and done it another 5 times after that one.
I'm pretty sure you remember this one very well.
Yeah, the famous goal line clearance.
Score was at 0-0. Liverpool given the chance to go 10 points clear.
Just tried to react as quick as possible, and didn't really think too much than, you know, get there and try and clear it, and it's what I did. But it's come a bit of a iconic moment in that season, and it's just nice that it didn't go in, to be honest. There definitely fine margins in success and not. Deep down I knew it had not crossed. I think my reaction after I cleared it, I didn't know it was that close, but I knew it had not crossed the line. Champions League. Just everything about that kind of last 2 months of the season was incredible. How we played, how dominant we were, and yeah, just so proud. I enjoyed the match so much, even though there's so much pressure and tense. You know, everyone's quite tense. Yeah, and to play the way I did, I wanted to just leave everything out there, and we definitely did that. Obviously coming away with a trophy after, and yeah, just honestly, just a dream, absolute dream come true. The feeling, you know, to contribute in a big game like against them was really satisfying, and then the Wolves one, a different one to win the game. We spoke about our set pieces that week, and believing that when we're going up into the box that we're going to score, and speak as a defender, but the blocks that don't go unnoticed by us, but to probably the wider people, those kind of things as well, that are celebrated by us, you know, because they're just as important to allowing the boys up front, or allowing us to go up there and score these winners or score goals to win games. I want more of what I've achieved already and what the club's achieved, and I think we've set the bar so high that we've got to try and get as close to that or better than that. You know, we've created such a winning standard throughout everything, and I felt that we had that in the first game, and we've got to keep that standard so high throughout the season to achieve anything. And yeah, I'd love to lift the Champions League again for everyone.
Wow, John Stones, what an absolute legend. I mean, speaking of legends, it's with great pleasure to say I'm joined by a legend in his own right, Andy Morrison. Andy, you are looking sensational, mate. You had a good summer?
I've had a fabulous summer, yeah. Lots of holidays, lots of golf, keeping fit, and yeah, feeling good, ready for the start.
Looking like you could go and give us 90 minutes out there, mate. You're looking incredible. But let's talk about John Stones. We have to, after watching that. I mean, everybody watching MatchDay Live will feel the same as us, so to speak. What an absolutely unbelievable player for this football club he's been, and hopefully plenty more memories to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, if you're looking at a centre-half that, you know, is moulded in the Pep Guardiola centre-half, then John Stones ticks every box. Composed, pace, and an ability to start play from the back, and you know, he doesn't feel pressure. So yeah, and it's been great. What have we seen over the last sort of 10 years have been remarkable. And
leadership qualities as well now from the back, within the dressing room. He seems to have matured so much. He's been through a lot in terms of his injuries, but one thing's for certain, that when John Stones is out on this pitch, he gives everything and offers so much as well.
He does, FG, and it's, you know, it's. I think if John Stones is fit, I think he plays. Then we look at the quality of, you know, the centre halves we have. You know, 3-4 top players. But John Stones plays, and when John Stones gets to 4, 5, 6 games uninjured, you then begin to see, for me, and I know it's blue tinted at times. For me, the best centre half in world football. It's just, you know, that periods where he's been able to stay away from injuries. We've seen just how good he can be.
I mean, that's one thing that we really want John Stones to stay fully fit. What about that partnership he's got developing with other centre-halves at the club, in particular the man he's starting with today, Ruben Diaz? They've had a fantastic partnership over the years. I'm looking back to the days where there was no fans allowed in this stadium, but that period was incredible to watch them together, and they just know each other so well.
Yeah, and we spoke about the end of last season, you know, the last few months where we started to get a bit of continuity into the team, similar back four, familiarity between players, relationships being built, and it's so important that back four is solid. And I know Pep likes to, you know, change the system. He likes maybe left-footed on the left at certain games to open up the opposition. But when you know what your centre-half's doing and you have that communication, especially when you've got vociferous players like Diaz, it's so important, that continuity, and we've seen it.
We've seen so many clips on the VT earlier on before of John Stones' best bits. What's been your favourite moment? Because for me, it's the goal line clearance against Liverpool. He's had so many incredible performances.
Yeah, I find it difficult to say one moment. That's a standout moment because of the size of the game, being Liverpool. But, you know, it's just the continual way that he, when he's fit and he plays, the standards that he sets every single game. You know, and I think so many people now look up to him as a senior player, and he's a leader on the pitch.
He is a leader on the pitch. Indeed, speaking of leaders, we've got a couple in the studio. Michael Brown and Steph in the studio. We can see them above us. We might be able to see them on the screen right now. They might be able to hear us. Kel, can you hear us?
FG, is this our first link-up? Is it working?
This is unbelievable, right? Honestly, this is the first time me and Kel have actually had this conversation together. Kel, mate, you look at. Sorry, we'll come to you in a minute, Brownie. This is a special.
We're having a moment here,
from
okay?
host to host. How is it up there, mate?
We've got off to a good start. We thoroughly enjoyed you with our Brazilian friends, of course, for Bahia Day. We wondered, while we've got a wide shot, if you wanted to do any more Brazilian dancing, or.
I think you and Andy would be quite good. Why don't you show them your moves, FG? Let's have a look at it, FG. I was just watching you downstairs. Show us a little trick. What are you good?
Yeah, I pulled my hamstring in that. My hamstring in that, so I'll have to wait for Strictly Come Dancing. I don't think I'll get the call up. But I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's give a bit of context to everybody where the legends get to watch the game. So we're going to spin it round. Guys, spin round to us and give us a wave. As you can see, they're up at the top, Andy. When it's raining, they're always under cover. They're looking absolutely brilliant.
And I tell you, Andy Morrison, I have to echo FG's words. You are also looking absolutely exquisite today. What's the secret? What was the summer secret this summer, Andy?
Listen, the secret is, this time last year I looked at Brownie and I thought, he looks absolutely magnificent. And I thought, if I'm going to get back in the studio, I've got to start looking as good as him.
I tell you what, the one thing I've noticed about Brownie is every away trip, if I wake up early, he's in the gym. He's done his 5K run.
I know.
He's in the gym and he's looking unbelievable. Look, I mean, Steph, we have to talk to you. What an absolute legend. I mean, how are you feeling about this season going ahead and everything going on? You're always bringing good vibes, I know you are. Me and Steph went on holiday to Madrid last time and it was great.
It was
For legal reasons, it was a work trip.
We don't want to talk about football then. You know what, I'm actually really excited. I think new signings, new season. I think last season we were all disappointed because of the levels that we've set in the last few years, which have been unbelievable. To win 4 in a row is absolutely scary. So we know what it feels like to win, and I think even just the vibe of coming in today into the Etihad, the fans, even just going away to Italy was amazing, just to see the vibe of the team and the staff. It just feels a bit different. So for me, I'm really excited to see all the new boys play and to see the likes of Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Bernardo, those that have been here for a long time, kind of carry this team to where it needs to go.
Yeah. Centre-back biased as well, as you mentioned the centre-backs. There's other areas of the pitch.
They're the foundation of success, that's all I'm saying. You don't get the ball without centre half, that's all I'm saying.
There's another centre-half's going to have a word now.
I'm sorry, guys,
we're just in awe.
We're just in awe. Steph wants you to stick up for her.
I missed that last
She's
bit.
only up there.
This is
Come
my
on,
debut
Andy.
with something in my ear. FD talking to me, Daryl giving me hand instructions. It's all confusing.
I've got a funny story for you all, Kel.
Go on.
You're going to love this one, right? So as you can notice, Andy's only got one ear in. Here's the other one, because when he had the second ear in, he was frozen and just stood there like this. He didn't have a clue what was
I
going
don't
on.
know who's
Way
talking
too
to me. I
much.
got people waving their hands around. It's
all go.
It's a good start.
Andy, I did want to ask though, we kicked off about how good the defence has looked, and obviously we've got that depth again, but you look to the bench, Andy, you got Kusanov, Gvardiol still to come back in, Nathan Ake, I mean Akanji's not in the squad. What do those players have to do to try and force their way into this back four, do you think?
Well, they have to do what Diaz and John Stones have done, is be patient, make sure you're ready when you're asked, you know, and to keep that appetite and that energy in training every day, you know, and it's a squad game, and it's really, really important that everyone's ready and challenging each other.
Did you just see that? Who just walked past us? Can we spin the camera to us that our chairman just walked past us? He literally just walked straight past us. He gave me a wave. I think he actually waved at me like I'm his mate.
I thought he put his thumbs up to you.
I mean, it doesn't get better than this, Kel. It doesn't get better than this.
We're bringing it to you all here on MatchDay Live, and I'll quickly ask you, FG, how excited are you to see Turkey ball today?
Oh, Kel.
Come on.
Kel, I know how you were, mate, already in the first game when he came on. I am excited. Me and you don't have the luxury of having, well, I mean, maybe you do, but I definitely don't have the luxury of being as good as these people and the lovely guests you've got beside you. But from a football fan's perspective, I am buzzing.
Absolutely, yeah. There's been moments of brilliance so far, isn't there? And I think Michael might have already said it earlier on, that we've got to understand that when play breaks down and you look at the stats end of the game, it's probably going to break down more on him, because he's the one that you're looking to be inventive. And you know, as brilliant as Kevin De Bruyne was, he was always the one who kind of you looked at it and maybe 3 or 4 times it broke down on him. He gave the ball away because he's trying something. Turkey's the same. He's going to be trying things in games, and we've just got to be patient with it and understanding.
I'm just taking it all in here, Kelly. It's unbelievable that we're actually speaking.
Well, listen,
it's amazing. If we pan the camera around a little bit more to this side, there's another legend on our side. Mr. Robbie Fowler, who's doing his media duties next to us, giving us a wave. Come on, Robbie. There you go. Ali McCoist is back behind us as well. We're live now, if you want to just say hi to the studio quickly. Brownie and Steph and Kel.
Just want to say hello to the guys. Good luck for the season, and I'll be seeing you during the season. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Ali. I mean,
it's too much.
We can carry this on. Over to you, Andy. Get a guest over.
Anyone else, FG? Anybody else? Come back to us in a bit.
I can see Karen Carney and Lauren Hem.
Yeah, we'll go and
try and get their attention a little bit later.
We'll crash TNT Sports. Well, listen, FG, see if you can find any more, and we'll come back to you and Andy in just a little bit.
Lovely speaking to you guys. Have fun. Save some food for us for half time.
Enjoy the game.
Just final word there on Turkey, Michael. I wanted to ask you, you're playing centre mid. I'm the manager. I've said your job today, Michael. You stand on Cherky. If he starts doing all those flicks and takes...
See, I know where you're leading with this.
What does Michael Brown... How does Michael Brown stop Ryan Cherky?
Because we know exactly what happens. Everyone just tees me up and says, well, I'll just play nicely for a little bit of time, or will I go tight? I think you know I'll have to just go and say it. Let him know he's over his shoulder. Just a little bit of contact, just to sort of put him off slightly.
A little bit of
just
contact.
Something.
Just usual, yeah, nothing within the rules. Slightly. But do you know what? He's going to get that attention. But these players, this is normal. I mean, you look at the protection they have now, which is rightly so. We want to see these players get real flair. But you know, if I'm setting up and I'm in a Spurs situation, I'm sort of saying, right, well, it's not just him. The problem I've got,
for sure,
is that midfield area where Rico Lewis comes to join in. Then how do I do it? Wide players might step inside. So what can you do? We've just got to keep our structure, keep our shape, and then build from there. And it's about distances being a little bit close at this level. How brave can Spurs be? What will they set up? Will they come out and try and play a little bit more than we expect? I'm seeing how they're going to get on, and then the managers adapt in-game. I think that's the point, that can the players have another system? And that's where Pep's been really good.
Yes.
When he sees something that's not necessarily going to go the way he thought, he's already probably got his plan. He's already told the players if we have to change it, and something after that all the analysts and the team spot things quickly, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Shall we see then how Tottenham are lining up? Let's do that, of course. They're under a new manager this season in the brilliant Thomas Frank, who I think really is one of the best managers in the league. So excited to see how he gets on. But not today. Here's who he's gone for, though, to take us on at the Etihad Stadium. Vicario in net, an actual former Manchester City player there at fullback, Pedro Porro. New captain for Spurs in Romero, who partners Van de Ven. Going to speak about that partnership in just a second alongside Spence. Then you've got Sarr, Bentancur, new signing Palhinha, another new signing there in Kudus, of course, had that brilliant breakout season at West Ham. Maybe not so great in his second season there, but gosh, he got off to a flyer last weekend. You got Johnson, and then of course playing down the middle there, number 9, Richarlison, with those 2 brilliant goals in the opening weekend as well, and some big names there on the bench as well: Kinski, Danso, Tell, Gray, Bergvall, Kuskovic, Solanke, Odegaard and Ben Davis there as well. Complete Spurs' starting 11. I wanted to begin, Steph, on Thomas Frank. I think we all saw the brilliant job that he did do at Brentford. For me, he's always been one of my favourite managers. The way he goes about his teams to play, anytime I listen to him speak, really interesting and excited to see how he's going to get on at Spurs.
Yeah, I am. I think for me, I think his team, especially with Brentford, that's probably what was synonymous with when he came here. Brentford always played well against us in terms of the high press, being really, really detailed in every action of every part of the game. And I think for me, he probably overachieved at Brentford with the players that he had in terms of where he took the club, how much he built the club from the bottom to where they are now, and the players that he had. So for me, I think it was on the cards for him to potentially go to Tottenham for a long, long time. He's had that opportunity, and the first 2 games, that one against PSG, they played really, really well. They had a bit of a different system that we probably used to seeing in that 3-4-3 system that he likes to use, but we went back to 4-3-3 against Burnley. And I think for me the biggest thing is he's able to keep all the better players fit for Tottenham going this season. But I've always liked listening to him. I think he speaks really, really well. I think he's a manager you probably would want to really play for and give everything for, and that's the impression that he's quite straight down the line.
Very straight down the line, very, very organised, very detailed.
Yeah.
We all thought he was about set pieces, going a bit more direct. With Brentford, he felt like he had to evolve and change. They came here and had more possession in the first half against Manchester City, which I would never have ever believed that was possible.
For sure.
And I think that put him onto the next level of being able to change a football club and a tactical position as well, that I feel. And then Tottenham decided, where before they're probably thinking he needed another jump before Spurs, which was probably the wording that Daniel Levy probably would have used. Now he's gone for him because I feel like he's in safe hands.
Yes.
But it's like how far can they go to bridge the gap at the top is going to be the question. But they've got some real flair, some real talent, pace at the top of the pitch. That midfield looks really good now, doesn't it? Sarr, Bentancur, Palhinha, I've really liked for some time. He hasn't played, obviously, regularly, and there's still a bit of a chat regarding Richarlison. The one big loss for them, though, is obviously Maddison.
Yes.
You know, that's a huge blow for a manager going into a football club when one of your main players, but he'll react. And I'm sure he'll get them well organised. I wonder what his approach will be today.
Well, that's what I kind of would come into. Tactic-wise, it's I guess this is what's so great about the start of the new season. Everyone's figuring out how players are going to play. If you're going just off the first few games you've seen, the PSG game, are they going to come to sit? Do you think he's actually going to come to maybe try and boss possession? Steph, obviously we're guessing, but how do you think you could possibly...
I honestly think he'll try and kind of make Man City suffer in the sense of the pressure that they have when they have the ball, and I think that's something that he's always stuck to as a manager, is them kind of principles. And for me, I think this is going to be interesting. This is obviously his 3rd game as Tottenham manager. This is coming to a team that's won a lot of titles over the last few seasons, and against very, very good players.
He has to win a trophy as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the fight. That's going to be hard, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think you've got to stick to what you believe your team should be, and this kind of a case of he'll learn a lot about his team today, either way of which.
What do you think would be success for him this season, Joe, in that side? You know, because I look at it and go, well, his Champions League is almost a must, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for me, now you've got to experience it this season by winning that trophy, and I think being able to manage that schedule. But yeah, of course, I think especially if they're going to sign maybe a few more players before the window shuts, it is so important that you're able to challenge for them top 4 places.
That's a sore point at the moment, isn't it? Because of
maybe I should
the
have
players
dropped
that have gone, just dropped it and say, how's the recruitment going at Spurs at this moment in time? Is there any new players that might be just around the corner? But yeah, I think it's a really, really interesting game.
It really is indeed. We can see this is what's been the build-up happening outside the Etihad Stadium, and it's been non-stop here in the stadium as well. As we say, we've already heard from Ali McCoist, and it gives me great pleasure now to welcome to Matchday Live. If you've followed Manchester City, you'll have seen he's popped up on our pre-season tours as well. Big Manchester City fan, Oklahoma Thunder's very own Alex Caruso. Welcome to Matchday Live. Welcome to the Etihad Stadium for this brand new season. How are you today?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm great. I'm glad to be here. It's long overdue. A little over a decade now following City, and couldn't find time to get out here, but we finally did, and I'm excited for the game.
Well, it's our absolute pleasure and a real honour to have you here. I mean, on the back of what was a brilliant season for your team as well. I mean, just let's touch upon that. Congratulations! It was a great season.
Yeah, thanks. It's always a great season when you're holding a trophy at the end of the year. And for us, you know, the longer you play, you go into June, so it turns into a 9-month season, and you want to make sure if you're going to play that long, you're the one holding the trophy at the end. So great year for us, and we got pretty much the same team coming back, so we're excited to try and do it again.
It's quite interesting, actually, when I was doing a little bit of reading, I think you did have one of the youngest squads last season, and it's interesting because over this last kind of year, City have brought in a lot of youth, a lot of kind of new energy. You look at Kusanov, I mean, Cherky, we've been raving about here, 21 years old. You know, Reijnders with some fresh energy, then our academy players. Being in a team that did bring in a lot of youth, what did that do to the environment, and how important was that in you getting a trophy at the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, well, youth is energy, right? That's the key, and especially, you know, out there on the pitch, running around and covering a lot of distance. But for us too, I think the big thing for my team was we were so good defensively, and a lot of that was energy and you know, kind of the intensity that we played with on that end. And
yeah.
It was just wave after wave, and I think the correlation with City is great because that's kind of how they play. Is like any given day, the starting 11 could be different, but it's people that are out there and they're playing with energy and running and covering the ground.
And of course, you know, being a more senior player, you know, I mean, still obviously,
for the team.
Hey, no, but he's, I mean, don't worry, you've got more senior next to you there on your left, a lot more senior.
On the right.
But of course, then the responsibility that you have to kind of, you know, guide the young players, and we've been speaking about our core of captains. That's a huge kind of role as well that you have to bring to the team and to the players.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, with any team that's young and has youthful energy, you need some experience. You need some type of, like you said, guidance and experience to tell them what to do. And I think that was a cool thing for me is transitioning to this team that I used to be the young guy. When I first played in Los Angeles with the Lakers, I was the young guy, and all the other, you know, Hall of Fame 10 to 15-year veterans that I played with, I learned a lot from. And just being able to take that and then push it into this team and help us get that done this year.
Do the younger players still have that same sort of will to listen to you and learn? Because I find some have already been coached so much as youngsters that they almost pretty much know, well, we're tactically aware now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that, you got to build that trust, right? Like, especially for me being first year with the new team, just putting the work in, you know, showing up to work every day, being a pro, being a guy that shows up and you know, gets his lifts, gets his treatment, does well in practice, recovers. Setting the example that way, I think, was the easiest way to kind of earn that trust and that sweat equity to show them that, all right, I'm here to win and to be a part of the team. And I think they followed suit and hopefully, you know, they gained something from that too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they absolutely did. You had the trophy there. I wanted to come back to your City journey, though. As you said, we've been trying to get you here to the same to find a winner. Where did that begin for you?
That's always the question
of course.
that comes up because obviously, you know, American following football, and then obviously City with the success they've had. There's a bit of speculation with a lot of fans on how you come into it, but I think it started probably when I was in college. So that would have been 2012, 2013, 11, 12, 13 were like the first couple of years that we started watching, and then we would wake up, you know, after maybe a night out and with the boys and get some breakfast tacos, which is in our country, especially in Texas where I'm from, is big. Bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast tacos, and then wake up early and watch, you know, Premier League on the TV. And go from the 6:30 game till 10:30 or noon, as long as we could stay awake before our nap.
Wow, class.
And from there, we fell in love with it. Started playing FIFA. FIFA was a great way to kind of find out different players on different teams and how they played and their skills, and then from there it just blossomed into what it is now.
And with generally the game in America, obviously we had you involved in some of our pre-season tours as well. Does it feel like the game, and in particular, Manchester City fans are growing across the States, Alex?
No, it definitely is. I mean, I know specifically within the NBA and the basketball region of professional sports, there's a handful of guys that were already fans, and they're spread around a number of teams through Europe, but especially in the Premier League, because I think it is, especially for us, it's just on TV and you get to see it so much. The growth of it has been fun to watch, and it makes it more fun for us because you have someone to chirp at, and when the games come up, like I have a handful of friends that are Chelsea fans, and so anytime we play them, and
nice,
for a stretch of years, we beat them every time. So it was a good time for me to be able to get out there.
Well, and Steph, we've seen, obviously we had the big tournaments there in the summer as well. I mean, I know you've been away as well with obviously when you're playing with the women's, but also on our pre-season tour. It does great just for the fan base to feel that we're kind of more connected now around the world than ever before.
Yeah, I think when you go into America and different places, you don't actually realise how big the club is, and I think ever more. I remember going to Miami, and this was like 4 or 5 years ago, and going on tour, and you probably had a handful of people that knew about the women's team, and then maybe more of a handful knowing the men's team. But now you look at all the, especially Club World Cup, that was probably an instance where you're thinking, oh, actually, we are so worldwide, and everybody's wanting to support the team. And I think success helps that, because everybody kind of starts to notice. You notice all the big players like Erling Haaland, and these guys start to support them. So yeah, I mean, this club is amazing. It'll still keep growing and growing.
It is mad, isn't it? Like I was out there in America for the Club World Cup, and the different states, and still seeing City shirts.
Yeah.
I think that's the next
all the
level.
Different regions across the country,
That's it. There's still so much growth there as well in football. You can see it with the kids, the amount of coaching.
Well, and also the players coming over to MLS helps a lot too. Like Son just went over to LAFC.
Yeah,
I thought when he made the MLS transfer, I thought for sure he was going to find another Premier League team, because he's still
amazing.
Yeah, he's still very good, very quick. And
that Messi's all right though, isn't he?
Yeah, that guy's not bad either. He's gonna take fans with him wherever he goes. Though. But
who are you looking forward to watching today then?
I want to see Reijnders in person.
Yeah.
I was excited to see him. I was talking to, when we were giving a tour yesterday, I look up the YouTube highlights of all the guys that get transferred in, because I got to learn how they play and see how they're going to fit in. Yeah. And I saw him play, with his AC Milan highlights. I was like, that looks a little Kevin De Bruyne, midfield, like a lot of forward balls, penetrating passes. So that's something that City obviously lacked a little bit last year. I think that stopped him. So seeing him play, and then Jerky is a lot of fun to watch.
You've been spoilt, haven't you, since you supported Manchester City? It's been brilliant until last season. Which player have you liked over the journey since you started following City?
Over the journey, Kevin's an easy one because he's, amazing. But, some of the other guys, like Bernardo is probably one of my favorite players.
Same.
And he kind of has a lot of the correlation of how I play, where it's kind of like unsung hero, does like all the little stuff that maybe not, he's not on the score sheet, maybe he's not having an assist every game, but he's covers the most distance.
Are you Bernardo of basketball then?
Maybe. I'm a little taller. I'm a little bigger than Bernardo in my sport.
But he's like your player's player, isn't he? Do you know the one you appreciate the most when you
look
at him?
He's the one that you can put in the team and you don't have to worry about him. He's going to do his job and he's going to make others better.
I mean, there's no surprise as well then why Peppers chose him as our club captain this season. I tell you what I would like to see though is Bernardo stood next to you. Alex,
when I met him, where was it, in Houston a couple of years ago, he was very small. Very small.
Now, Alex, while you were here, we wanted to just quickly get you to rate some of our City personnel's basketball skills.
Oh, okay.
So we got a few little clips here. So let's just see what you make of these, what the technique's saying. We're going to, of course, kick off with the main man up front, Erling Haaland. So here he is. It's a little training drill, and it's a little kind of. Is it a fully slam dunk finish or close enough?
Oh, I expect better from him. I'm not gonna lie. As athletic as he is, you'd think he'd be able to get up. Some of the headers he has is.
He tries again.
Yeah, he's a 2-foot jumper. That's not bad though. That's not bad. To travel, but it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not bad.
let's take a look at the boss next. Here's Pep Guardiola, just keeping it casual, very chill. Don't mind
That's
that.
nice. That's nice. He looks comfortable. It's a smaller goal too. I can tell it's a little lower hoop.
Yeah.
So he's like short arming it, but it looks smooth.
And also, it's for the boss. They've probably gone, we'll do that for you.
For sure.
You're allowed it.
They showed the
How many
makes as well.
takes? How many takes was it? Imagine, isn't it? I didn't show he missed 14, but this
No. 2 for 2.
And finally, now a man we know is good with his feet, but also he's an expert with his hands. Edison, here he is. There's a slightly bizarre camera angle on this, I will say. He's gone for
one of those cameras.
the camera that's on the front, but there's. I think he kind of looks like he's comfortable with the ball there.
It's not a good angle.
At all. But there's a lovely finish. Well, I thought it was.
Oh, they cut it. The anticipation.
What happened next?
The handles were nice, though. The handles were nice.
He looked quite comfortable.
We'll assume it went in. We'll assume it went in.
It was. I can
They're
say,
all
I think it was a
scampering in the
lovely
gallery
switch.
now, aren't they? Whose fault was that?
There
we go. Right.
I do feel, I think, out of all our squad, I mean, maybe a question I'll ask you. If there was one you'd choose maybe to come in, you think potential there, who'd you go for?
I've seen Rodri play basketball, and I think he's not bad.
Nice.
I think again, selective clips. We don't know how many attempts they take, but he's a guy I think you could put out there.
Is he going to be quick enough around the court?
I think he's smart
the
enough.
brains.
I think he's smart
He's got
enough
the stature.
to play, and he understands spacing. He'll be good.
He's got it.
Colin Dorman, he'll be fine.
I was going to say he's the best player in the world. But I'm afraid, Alex, we have to keep him.
Yeah.
And just a final word, Alex, and then we'll let you go to enjoy the rest of your day. But we're embarking here on Pep Guardiola's 10th season, and I mean, we've said there, you know, we kind of can't fully capture in words just the impact he's had at City bottom football. But how much have you enjoyed the football under Pep, and obviously what he's brought to us fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch to begin with, right? I think that's the thing that everyone kind of talks about is, you know, obviously the possession and the creativity is fun to watch. But I think the thing for me, being an athlete and seeing them play, is the dedication to playing for the team, sacrifice, you know, in big games, being there and showing up. Like, that's the thing for me that I think is the coolest thing. The competitiveness of the teams over the decade hasn't dropped. And that's, you know, as an athlete, that's what you want. You want to show up to work.
His demands, though, isn't it? Do you know, like, you'll win and then he'll still demand even
more. To win
more.
at the high level, you have to have that bar, that standard, and I think, you know, being able to watch that consistently over the years has been the best part.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Alex, it's been so great to have you in the studio, and
thanks
thank
for
you
having me,
so much for coming in, and also, you know, for being a beacon for Manchester City fans over across the pond as well. It's magic to see, and of course, we wish you all the love and luck for the new NBA season when it kicks off as well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Our absolute pleasure. Let's hear now from FG and Ali McCoist. They caught up a little bit earlier to speak about our man in charge, of course, the man we love so much, Pep Guardiola's 10th season.
Yes, welcome to Pitchside. You've just seen our impressive brand new stand which is about to go up. And speaking of impressive, it's with absolute pleasure to say Mr. Ali McCoist is back on the show for another
How are you,
season.
mate?
You're looking fantastic, as always.
My wife dressed me this morning.
Well, she did a fantastic job.
I'll pass that message on.
Great to see you, Ali. I mean, we have to start with our manager, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
10th season
Brilliant.
at Manchester City. You've had the pleasure of covering a lot of his work throughout his career. You know the game very well. I mean, what do you make of him as a manager?
Well, you could argue, obviously you can argue about the best of all time. That's an argument that's up for debate. But I tell you what, I don't think you can argue. He's probably transformed the way the game's played in the country, to be brutally honest with you. He's even got my team playing in a fashion I'm not sure we can, to tell you the truth. However, he's been brilliant, hasn't he? He's been a breath of fresh air. I think for the league and for the country, obviously for City, that goes without saying. The success that he's brought here and the football and the players that you've watched. So brilliant, and you know, if he's here for another 10, I think as City fans and myself would be delighted.
I would absolutely love him to be here for another decade. Now, it's not all been plain sailing for Pep Guardiola. Let's take it back, all the way back to his first season. He was written off by everyone. The style of play, it doesn't work in England. He was defiant. He stuck by it. He had the goalkeeper situation with Joe Hart the minute he came in. But he's recovered really well. And what did you make about that through that difficult period, even points of last season, he never digs out the players in the media. He's always very, very calculated.
He's old school in the respect. I firmly believe if he's got something to say to his players, he won't miss them. But it's not done publicly. It'll be done in the dressing room, be done within the four walls of a dressing room or indeed his office, which is the way the players like it. They like to be shown that little bit of respect, and he does that. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't believe the collapse in City last year for that period. I mean, you'll know better than me, but did they lose 9 out of 12 or something? It was absolutely unbelievable. But I did notice the last few games, they've been the best in the last 10, 12 games or whatever it is. So not only have they recovered, it looks as though they're back to winning ways and fine work in order. New signings, I think, have been excellent as well, and will be excellent. They hit the ground running last week. There's a lot of people saying they weren't, and I can get it, not sure how good City were, and maybe to a certain degree Wolves were poor. But when you're a new signing, you come to a club, the one thing you want to do, if you can, is hit the ground running. And they certainly look as though they've done that. So, yeah, there was a few question marks over Pep, I think, last year, and rightly so, with the slump in the form and the results. But I was interested to see how he handled it. I think he handled the whole situation very, very well in terms of, not being critical of the players and say these things can happen, but it's about finding a solution. We'll find out this season whether he has found a solution, but the early, and it is very early signs, would indicate they're back on track.
Speaking of being back on track, I mean, that run that we had, that season that we had last season was a strange one. In particular, this reverse fixture last season.
4-0.
4-0 to Tottenham here at the Etihad. How do you see today's game going? Because Tottenham had a great start as well in their first game.
And I was in Udine for the Super Cup final where they played really well and should have beaten PSG. They end up losing in penalties. That can happen. But I thought they were a better team for long periods. It's amazing because it's a strange thing to say, but if you thought any team had a wee sign on City, it might be Tottenham, because I think their record is very good. I know City won the last game 1-0, but the corresponding fixture here last season, you're correct, was 4-0. I don't think it'll be 4-0 to Tottenham.
I'd like to hope so.
I don't think it will. If I was going to be brutally honest, I slightly edge City. I'm really looking forward to the game. Slightly edge City, but it wouldn't be surprised me if it's a draw, just because of Tottenham's previous. But if I had to pick one winner, it would be City.
And I think that's the perfect way to head back to the studio with another Ali McCoy's prediction in favour of Manchester City. An absolute pleasure.
Great to see you.
As always, great to see you.
And good luck for the season.
Thank you very much, you too.
As the big man, Erling Haaland, he does start today as we build up to this home fixture to kick off our season here at the Etihad Stadium against Tottenham Hotspur. We're just speaking about the fact that our man Pep Guardiola is starting his 10th year in charge of the club, which really is the stuff of dreams. And we kind of touched upon it there with Alex Caruso, who's just joined us in the stadium, Brownie. It is hard to put into words the impact he's had on the club, but also the impact I think he has had on English footballers, as Ali McCoy's pointed out.
Honestly, we were just waiting in anticipation when he was signing. That first day he came into the building, he had it's been well documented now in the training ground, the levels of the demands of what he's expected, the food, the certain things, the technology, the way he trains, the way he has his body. And to have the return of goals that we've seen has been absolutely incredible, and that's what we've witnessed. There's been times where really he's got a little bit frustrated, and then the expectation levels were really high, and he sets on himself, and that's the hardest thing when he scored the amount of goals he did to do it every single season. Yeah, it's not normal, is it? So then it's a slight drop-off. He's also got to understand that he's going to continue. The club have backed him on such a long contract. Yeah, so he's here for a long period, and now it's getting the best out of him. How do we play to his strengths? How do we keep him scoring? How do we get him moving a little bit better into areas? Because he's a marked guy, isn't he? Do you know? You talked about looking at how do you not just stop a number 10? Well, how do you stop him?
Yes, and also that's also kind of what Pep's done amazingly over the 10 years, Steph, is the constant different forms and ways of Manchester City you've played. Just think, to the start with an Aguero, then obviously we had a couple of seasons there of an Alvarez in there, and then you sign what is an out-and-out number 9, big, strong, tall striker. Again, he's adapted systems and squads to his personnel and got still incredible results.
Yeah, incredible results, and the way that we play, I think you see so many teams trying to emulate what we do on a regular basis, but without the players and without the personnel, but also the detail, you can't really replicate it. But I think you're speaking about Erling Haaland. This is a man that you've got to give him the ball in the box, whether that's in the air, on his feet. He's able to create goals, and I think you look at that boy, and Oscar Bob missed all of last season, but he's had a great start of the season. You can see that he's going to be potentially one of our best players in the future because of the skill set that he has. And you're speaking about someone that's left-footed playing on the right, and I think for me, Erling Haaland was thinking, oh my God, whatever winger I play with, they're going to provide me with assists and chances. And for us as a club, that's fantastic to get Erling Haaland on the ball, in the box, scoring goals.
Steph, he could be like having a brand new player. He could be outstanding this season, and I hope he takes it all because he was just showing that promise. And we talk about players coming into a Pep Guardiola side, and I think he's got everything. He understands it, the way he goes about his training, the way he gets his head down. The manager loves him because of his temperament.
Yeah.
That gives him a massive start. So I'm hoping he really shows. We've seen glimpses of it against Wolves, that ability that he's got. But I was just looking back a second. You asked me the difficult questions. How I'd mark Shirky, number 10.
Yeah.
Why didn't you ask Steph how she'd mark Haaland? Do you know, like... You know, I just thought, is it...
For balance?
Yeah, I was just saying for balance.
Okay.
You know,
I'd be on Haaland's team.
what would you...
We'd be on the same
how do you
team.
mark him? What would you do?
To be honest, I think that's why he's so good,
tough,
because
isn't
it's
it?
impossible to... I wouldn't be as physical as Michael would
Why not?
be.
No.
But
Oh, so you'd just be nice
I'd
to
be
him.
like
the
a bit
brains
smarter,
there.
you
So
know.
you're
If
clever,
you're physical,
you
it
just
means
see
you
the
just got to read the
split.
game a little bit more.
She's got to use her brain and just step off and wait.
But my
If you
point
step
on
off
Oscar
him-
Bob is, I think as well, like, as a player, like, we both know, when you've had a big injury, you've missed out on a lot of football, like, you're so determined to get back to a level. But even better, and all the hard work, obviously, the video that City TV you've done is unbelievable, and what his comeback was like. But this is a young boy that knows that he wants to play for this club, and I think it does help that he's got that relationship with Rico on that right-hand side. They'll have played together throughout the academy, and yeah, I think he probably might go under the radar this season. I think we're going to speak about Turkey quite a lot, Reijnders.
Perfect.
And which is
perfect for
amazing
him.
because everybody's going to focus on them players and just let Oscar Bob do his thing and just play with freedom. I think that's the most important thing.
And that does make a difference, doesn't it, Michael, for any player really, but let alone young players. It's nice to be, you know, acknowledged, but when the spotlight's not, you know, Phil, I felt always, you know, from 17, it's always been spotlight on
Still
Phil.
is.
Still is, of course.
He's got the most ability out of anybody in the trophy return. It's normal.
Yeah.
Is, of course, but sometimes just having been away from the spotlight means you can do it without that pressure, so you do have more of that comfortability and freedom to express yourself.
Do you know, if we're going to see the best of him as well,
Yeah.
we're going to have to see the other 10 bodies performing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to have to win games. We're going to have more possession, back to where we were.
Yeah.
And I feel then he'll just fly because he's got the lot. But obviously that's only time will only tell there whether he can keep in the team. There's a lot of competition in and around it, but I feel like if he's in his stride, I think the manager's going to give him more of a chance because I feel like he can go inside, he can do so many different things in game because of his flexibility.
Yes.
And that's so important, isn't it, for Pep? That he's got that.
Yeah, absolutely. We see they've got to play 2 or 3 positions minimum these days. Right, now, if you've just joined us, thank you for joining us. It's Cel, it's Steph, it's Michael. We've had FG and Andy Morrison and Ali McCoist and Robbie Fowler. It's all been going on today's show, but not just...
And the chairman.
Yeah.
And we had Khaldoon as well, made a little slight appearance, almost like an extra, like a background supporting artist.
He ran away from FG, didn't he?
Yeah,
seen
he saw him,
FG
he
and
said,
he was
not
going,
today. But alongside all of that that's been happening, we've been celebrating Bahia Day here at the Etihad Stadium. Now, as you'll know, Manchester City Football Group, we have our clubs all around the world, one of them being in Bahia, which is in kind of northern Brazil near Salvador. I've been lucky enough to go see the stadium there, and it's so amazing to see the similarities between there and Manchester. So we've been celebrating all things Brazil, and in honour of that on the show, we're going to play a game. Of course, okay? Now we're going to play a game where we're going to ask you to guess. You can work as a team if you want.
Okay.
In honour of Bahia Day, of course, which is over in Brazil, we're asking you to guess the Brazilian player through the haircut, okay? So we're going to show you a haircut. Can you tell me who the Brazilian player is?
Ronaldo.
Off the back, straight in. Love that. Iconic hair. Have you ever rocked one of them in your time, Brownie? Have you ever given that a go?
You'd suit that.
What? Yeah, I've got one now. It's just better at the back. when I take the front of this hair off, I push the rest back. I've kept the front
It's just
long.
there.
Kept that long and flashed it back over the top. So yeah, I'm sporting it right now.
Yeah, okay, class. Next up,
They just teased us because that was an easy one.
Here we go. Now we're getting into it.
Wow.
That is Brownies.
I didn't realise I was Brazilian.
Well, you played with Brazilian flair, man.
Well, you know. Oh, wow.
I don't know the answers to these. Oof.
That's a tough one, that one.
Currently still playing, I've just been given as a clue in my ear. Currently still playing. Maybe you're playing along at home as well. If you're letting us know in the YouTube comments, maybe someone's got it quicker than us in the YouTube comments.
Oh, Neymar.
Neymar.
No, City player.
Huh?
It's a City player?
He's a City player playing now, so just think how many Brazilian players have we got? One of them goes with the skin fade, or number 1 or 2, so it's not him, it's the other one.
Savinho?
No, he's on the right-hand side. He's more the defensive side of the pitch. Great with his hands. Can pick out a pass. Can kick it far.
Is that him?
Let's have a look.
Is it really?
There you go.
But it doesn't look like that.
No, I just know.
It doesn't look right.
Don't complain because you couldn't
It doesn't
get it.
It doesn't look like that.
Nah.
Is that?
No.
Well, there you go.
Do you not agree?
No, that's
It looks
not
like it's
there.
different. It's trick.
That's definitely on a bad day, that
New
one.
season still kicking off.
Who's producing these games again? Who's doing it?
No, we're not
Come on, who's in charge?
Okay.
Fernand.
Dino.
Straight up, there we go. Yeah, big man. And here we go. We got one more. We got one more. We got 2 more. Okay, let's go there for the next one. Ooh.
We might not make kickoff here.
Wow.
Feels like that's an old player, Michael.
Cult hero for Man City fans.
That's the midfielder, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it could be. Shall I throw it in there? Is it Alano? Yes. Okay, nice. And Lacoste Sportif as well there. Final one. Let's have a look. Ooh. Gosh, it is funny when you isolating the hair. It does change things, doesn't it? And, currently play. Does he play for City? This one? No. Oh, they've said Ballon d'Or as a. That's the clue. Ballon d'Or. Think Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or. Is it? We get I don't know. We're just going thinking Neymar.
Yeah, maybe Neymar.
I'm sure. Go on. Who were you going to say, Brownie? They just said they were about to say it. Who?
No, I don't know.
Does it begin with a V? Yeah.
Vinny Jr.
It's my minute. Let's see.
Huh?
So I didn't get it. I didn't dare say it. I got it and I thought, I'm not saying it. I went, Vinny.
Okay, there we go. I really enjoyed that game. I mean, we've still got some problems out. We've still got teething problems.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. We'll work through it. We'll try again next season for Bahia Day. Now we are going to bring you an exclusive clip because after that man of the match performance, and what a way to announce yourself in a Manchester City shirt. Tijjani Reijnders, of course, new signing, gave us that unbelievably, arguably, and 100% complete midfielder's performance against Wolves. He is on our podcast, which of course you can go and get on Manchester City platforms. I want to bring you an exclusive clip from that now, just to whet the appetite, and you're going to be able to get the full episode at some point next week. Check this out.
Maybe jumping forward a bit, I think I was there on your signing day and we spoke a little bit about your work in a supermarket.
Yeah.
We want to dive into that. That was one of our, we were talking again.
Okay.
Quite high. So just start. How did that come about? Whose idea was it for you to go and work in a supermarket?
It was my mother's idea. She went to the Aldi and she said, "Yeah, I got a paper for you. You have to sign it in, and you need to get a job because you're at the age now. You need to earn your own money, you know." And I was like, okay, let's try. And I did it. And I had one meeting with them, and the next day I was working in the supermarket.
So that is Tijjani Reijnders, brand new signing on our Manchester City podcast. That full episode and conversation you'll be able to get next week, so keep your eyes and ears peeled. I also want to make a claim now to say he's got the best smile in the game.
I was just saying, how much is he smiling?
Best
I
smile
think he's enjoying
in
himself.
the game. I think he really is. But we wanted to pick up on that because of Tor talking about how his mum made him go get a job even though he was working his way through the academies at an Aldi, no less, which I love. I think that says a lot, though, about his grounding growing up. But we wanted to ask you, our guests, did you can you remember what your first job with, if you ever had a job? I mean, maybe you were playing all the way through, but first job of when you got your first bit of money, you got your first little wage packet.
And I mean, it wasn't that much, but I remember Mum and Dad going, right, okay, we're going to go to this retail party, you're going to put your CV in all these shops, and I've never ever been so nervous. But 16, going into sixth form, I actually worked with sports soccer.
Really?
And a delivery morning shift at Saturday, and then went to football in the afternoons.
No way!
Didn't get that much money, but yeah.
Hey, it was the pride though.
It was, 7 o'clock in the morning till 12, whatever
and then you'd
it
go
was.
And play
yeah,
football
they play football,
afterwards.
yeah. So
there we go, sports soccer.
Glass collector.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause my dad ran a pub. My dad ran the pub, so I had to collect the glasses on Matchday. Hartlepool United. He still runs it now.
Ah, okay, nice.
Still runs it now, and then I started working in and around there every weekend.
Is it innately in you as well? Do you sometimes when I think I've seen you when you're out drinking, you just naturally just start.
I'm just collecting. I'm always looking after everything, aren't I? So, hey. And you used to have to do them in the washers, do you know, like that? Yeah. They had them like the brushes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was it.
Well, maybe a little minesweep as well. Grab one there.
No, because I was only about 12.
Well,
I wouldn't have done that, would I?
No, of course not.
No. Trying to be a footballer, professional.
Of course. I think we've just been told we've got a picture of
me collecting glasses.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Is it? He's done me absolutely dirty there.
What was that in?
That was in a show called Waterloo Road on the BBC.
Yeah.
Young Harry Fisher. I'm off. I'm going.
Oh, they
You've
have
done me
done
dirty
that.
there, gallery.
Was that your first job?
That was one of my first jobs on the television as an actor. Yeah.
But were you already acting?
I'm going.
Were you already? What do you know before that? What were you doing before that to get that? Can you tell us?
I actually done a show at the Palace Theatre in Manchester, Beauty and the Beast, and then I did Oliver. And those were my jobs really. I've just tried to act, Brownie.
So them shows were something you started as a kid, and that's how your career developed.
That's it. Started off. So I'd done an ITV series as well called Blue Murder. So that was my first one, and then that was my second one for the BBC. And we're still out here now. We're still
going strong, aren't you?
But you've done me dirty there, gallery. That is noted.
Can we find any more, please?
No,
that'd be
no
great.
more.
I bet you we can.
No more. There was a casualty episode somewhere, but that'll never see the light.
We will.
That's noted on you, gallery. Okay, as well. I will be speaking to the bosses after this show. Right, I mean, this is flown by. We've not got too long to go. In a moment, we're actually going to be parading out some of our Lionesses, Steph, of course, with their brilliant win over the summer. You were over there covering a lot of that. How was it over? And the excitement and obviously the joy to come after winning the tournament.
Yeah, the girls were absolutely amazing. I think obviously England went into the tournament as favourites alongside Spain, but honestly what them girls have done for back-to-back Euro wins is really, really special. And of course we didn't play at our best, but ultimately at the end of the day they've come back with a trophy, and the likes of Alex Greenwood, Jess Parks, Kiara Keaton, Lauren Hemp, to be able to represent City and go and win with England, it's pretty special for our football club, and yeah, really, really proud of them.
Yeah, we couldn't be prouder of our girls, of course. And also, what does that do then when you're coming back to the squad? You know, obviously all your teammates are buzzing for you, but there must also be, I don't know, it raises the levels a little bit, I feel almost. Man.
You walk back into the squad with a big smile saying, yeah, look at what we've done. Yeah. You get called big time Charlies, you get pushed all around, and you bring the trophy, you bring your medals in, just show up every now and then. But do you know what? You go back into the group, and straight away it's back to normal. You've got to work harder to show that you want to go and produce and create these levels that you've had to go and win again. I think that's the mentality, that's the difference. When you're in that position, when you're going for those, to go for trophies, you have to have that mentality. So be straight back to work. But it's nice to have in your locker when you need it, isn't it? Just give it
just keep it there. Yeah, I always used to think that with Alvarez won the World Cup. But back to the girls, Steph. And I mean, you're always kind of said of being, one of the people that young girls looked up to. Really pioneered the game from its early stages. We've seen it grow now. But again, the impact that this can have on the women's game won nationally but also internationally is huge, and these are now the new heroes and icons that young girls are looking up to.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel as though whenever there has been a tournament, whether that's a Euros or a World Cup, the Lionesses have had so much pressure to do well, because then they get obviously the growth and the women trying to kind of promote themselves. But for young girls, and especially young boys as well, you can start to be that now. You can start to be an Alex Greenwood who's won trophies, whereas when I was a bit young, you didn't really have them female role models to look up to now. And of course, with our women's team, there's so many games that are going to be played at the Etihad, at the stadium, the Joy Stadium as well. So yeah, super proud of them all, and I can't wait to see them play this season.
And just quickly on that, I want to just mention as well, remember, get your tickets to watch our women's team at the Joy Stadium. It's always a fantastic afternoon or evening. We want to be filling that every week, and hopefully we'll get some games here as well. But you can get all the details on how to get tickets on the website. But of course, new manager, we've got some new signings coming in. Really exciting to think what could come this season for our girls.
Yeah, I think it's quite similar to what the boys are going to experience this season. It feels like it's a little bit of a new change. Obviously, a new manager for the women's team, and he's going to come in and do things differently. We've got new signings. So I think for me, being ex-captain of the club, is that we want to be winning trophies, and we want to bring silverware back to Manchester, and with them girls winning trophies and getting used to winning, hopefully that becomes a bit more of a habit.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait for that. Of course, we'll be bringing you them games as well here on Matchday Live. Wow, team are in the tunnel, so here we are. First game at the Etihad Stadium ahead of the brand new season. We got off to winning ways at the Molineux. Let's hope we can continue that here today as we take on Thomas Frank's Tottenham Hotspur. Thank you to Steph and Michael. Before we hand over to Alistair Mann, who's got your commentary, first predictions of the season, please. Michael Brown, I'm coming to you first.
Play for both sides, so you were expecting like a 2-2 from me.
Well, you can sit on the fence if you want.
Right on the fence.
Just give us you can give us your honest score.
Honest score, I feel like City will just have too much for them today. I'm hoping some lots of goals, maybe 3-2 City.
Nice. I was thinking of 4-2.
Wow.
Oh, okay, 3-2 from Michael Brown. Steph?
I'm going to go 2-0 City.
2-0 City.
Oh, defensively. That's the clean sheet.
Yeah.
This is the new one. Clean sheets all the way.
Clean sheets, win trophies, that's all I'm saying.
Trafford in goal. Clean sheets.
Huge. Ruben Diaz, John Stones back as the partnership. Ain't Nori left back. Gosh, all to come. Reijnders, Cherky. You guys go sit back and relax wherever you're watching the game. And if you're not watching it, make sure you're listening to it with us and Alistair Mann. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back at half-time. Final thing for me to say, for the first time this season at the Etihad, come on City.
Thank you, Kel. It's been 3 months since City were last at home. An emotional evening it was too, when the fans said farewell to club legend Kevin De Bruyne, signing off with a 3-1 victory over Bournemouth on the way to confirming a top 3 finish and a place in the UEFA Champions League. So much has happened since, including the Blues' participation in the inaugural FIFA Club World Cup and the arrival of high-profile new signings, as well as a new coaching team in support of Pep Guardiola. After giving up the Premier League crown, there's a real sense that the reset button has been firmly pressed. And following the scintillating 4-0 win at Wolves on the opening weekend, the overwhelming feelings of positivity